Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the Jeep Wagoneer. This one has the blackout package, the Carbide. I think you guys really like it. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Doug Smith Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in American Fork for giving me some time with this Wagoneer. Link to their website in the description down below. Link to my car buying guide too. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 3-liter inline-6 that goes through an 8-speed. Fuel economy 16 around 10, 23 on the highway, with power outputs being 420 horsepower and then 486 pound-feet of torque. Before I move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So you guys can see Wagoneer there on the front, and then popping down below, this is pretty cool with the light design, the turn signal indicator. Notice the grille is all blacked out. Same thing with the trim at the bottom. You also have the fog lights, and then we've got tow hooks there at the very bottom. And I like the contrast with the silver and the black on this one. Tire wheel setup is 285 by 45 by 22, and again the wheel is also blacked out. You've got these nice blacked out fender flares. You can see the rest of the bodywork there too. Wagoneer there on the side, and then all of the blacked out window trim as well as the mirror caps. Look at that. That's some cool contrast. This leads us to the key fob, if it'll ever focus. We got a lock and unlock remote start opening for the rear hatch. Wagoneer there on the back. And space behind the third row. It is really solid. This isn't the L version, this is just the regular version, so the Tahoe size. You got your 12 volt here in the back. You can see for the third row you can raise and lower it. For the second row you can only lower it. Nice plush carpeting here. When you're all done, just press that button and that will lower the rear hatch right back down. Now take a look at the taillights. I think these are really cool looking overall. Again, Wagoneer there on the back. You got the little bezel that covers the receiver hitch at the very bottom, and there's the rest of the rear. This leads us inside where we've got soft touch trim here. You can see up above as well. Got the nice soft touch at the very top. Speaker for the Alpine sound system. And then here are the front seats, perforated all down the center. By the way, I'll quickly move this out of the way. So third row, again, nice perforated trim. Nice loading floor there on the back too, so plenty of leg room. You got a big window in the rear. It's a very nice place for rear passengers to be. And then getting this seat back into place is pretty easy. Popping in, leg room back here, good. Got a little storage pocket. We've got our own climate zone in the rear, heated seats, bunch of USB ports and everything down below as well, and then good headroom. And then this leads us up front, where again we've got all of our soft touch trim, all of our window controls, all of the windows are automatic, memory seats, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and then $15.90 for the payload. And here's the front seat, perforated all down the center, all of our adjustments there on the side. Light controls here, the steering wheel's power adjustable, and then look at this, the trim, more soft touch on the dash. Now take a look at the steering wheel, soft touch all around, like this little trim piece there at the bottom. Wagoneer there on the front, we've got our gear limiter, adaptive cruise control, radio controls on the back, controls for the center digital gauge cluster, and then you guys can see regular stocks in the back. Now take a look at the gauge cluster. You can scroll through and see different bits of info on different systems within the Wagoneer itself. And then this is also where the little drive mode thing will pop up for the different modes. You have modes for both on-road and off-road use. Just backup camera in reverse. And then we've got dual zone climate up front, heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel on top of that. Decent response time with the screen. It does take a second for some of the stuff to load up. And yes, you do have the headrest folds so you can whack people if they're misbehaving. Little volume control here, and then you've got your climate controls at the bottom. Little charging area, and then you got a little cover for that. And then for auto stop start, you can see for the lane departure, stability control, hazard lights, parking sensor, tow haul, your mute. Got the dial shifter with this. We do have off-road cruise control as well as four-wheel drive low. You've got your drive mode select. Cup holders, nice trim here on the side. And then got this little window for the center console. Lots of storage inside. That's weird, it didn't. Anyways, nice stitching across the dash, regular rear view mirror, and then no sunroof for this. So here's our window sticker for this Wagoneer Carbide Series 2. $76,595 is the total MSRP on this particular unit. Let's see how it performs. Well, let us sit off and let's turn on the heated seat. The Wagoneer. I will say, this is probably the package that most people are going to want in the Wagoneer, because the Grand Wagoneer is just a little bit too expensive. But what I also will say is, if you get a base model Grand Wagoneer, it's only 10 grand more than this. It has a lot more features. Just gotta remember that. But anyways, yeah, it's a lot more expensive, and this looks cool. And so yeah, it's kind of an interesting setup. I mean, if I were Jeep personally, I would build probably, like with what this has equipment wise, I'd build probably just a bunch of these Series 2. And yeah, I mean, that's like, this is right in the meat and potatoes in terms of pricing of where you see the Tahoe at. And that's what this competes against. That's, well, its biggest competitor. And then this is also right there with the Sequoia as well. But less people compare the Sequoia nowadays because it's similar in size in this segment, but it doesn't really compete in this segment anymore, I feel like, in a weird way, because solid axle now, it's got weird third row situation. So anyways, this doesn't drive as well as a Wagoneer with the air suspension. I just drove that Wagoneer the other day that had the air suspension, but it's still very comfortable. But yeah, just like the GM trucks, the air suspension does make a difference with this. And I will say these seats are comfortable, very comfortable, and they feel just so much more premium than what you get with General Motors. And just the whole interior, that is one thing that I think the Wagoneer definitely wins on, is the interior, just the materials and all of that. Random side point, orange TRX. Every single time I see one of those, I'm like, that's a cool truck. The orange ones specifically, it just pops, just pops. I think that was the Ignition edition, if I remember right. Engine's super smooth. That's one thing this has over any other SUV in the segment, outside of a 6.2 V8 Tahoe. But 6.2 V8 Tahoe and you'll end up in the service department needing a new engine. Google it. Yeah, the inline six it's quick, it's smooth, it's not too loud, it's a great powertrain. Yeah, this drives really well. Again, I can see this is the Wagoneer that makes the most sense out of all the different packages, because of the looks and then the features this offers. Like, look at this. It's just smooth acceleration. I think it is kind of tragic that this is probably the best full-size SUV in the segment, but I shouldn't say nobody, but they're not selling as much as you'd think, considering how nice they are. And it just comes down to Jeep being not on the top of people's lists for this type of car. So I guess in summary, I really like this car. I've read the comments. Some people have said they have had some reliability issues, but the thing is, I read the comments in every single car review, and there's always at least one person that says they've had issues, except for the only car that I don't have this with is a Toyota 4Runner or a 200 series Toyota Land Cruiser. Outside of those two cars, everything, or I guess Tacoma as well, that would be another one. The was it 3rd gen Tacoma with the 3.5 V6? Outside of those three cars, everything else people are like, blows up, blows up, blows up, and it's like, okay, I think it's just a modern cars thing. But yeah, I don't know. I guess time will tell, but I guess my other thought is, like, if you get one of these and you sell it before the warranty ends, if it really does have that many issues, well, again, sell it before the warranty ends. Boom. Done. Easy. Or at least I think so. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on this, and let me know what you think about this compared to like the Tahoe and the Expedition and all that. Again, I think objectively it's a better vehicle. I think that it doesn't have the name that the other cars have, and Jeep is going through some reputation things right now, and so that's kind of, it's the same thing that Toyota's going through right now. They're going through some reputation issues, which causes fewer cars to sell, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. But with this one particularly, it's just go and drive one. Go and drive one and let me know what you think.